We now pass on a not very long starting straight that we go to complete with a downlope turn, a bend on the right to be facing full throttle. Here it's very important to stay wide and take advantage of the whole track to try to get to the braking of the first chicane with straight wheels and consequently to avoid locking. In the first chicane, to face in second gear, you have to try to cut as much as possible to gain time without going outside the limits of the track. We enter in the spectacular descent of the Chapelle, coming to two very fast left and then right turns to face in third gear. We then prepare for the famous curves of Tête Rouge that leads into the first long straight to be facing fourth gear. We must try to anticipate the car leaving behind as precise as possible on the limits of the track without cutting too much, and we arrived at the first straight very long where you reach the highest speeds up to 184 miles per hour for the fastest GTE car. We get to the second chicane of this very long straight to be addressed in the same way as the previous one, taking advantage of the limits of the track on the curves and always cycle-friendly entrance to exit then very strong in the third part of the straight that leads us to one of the braking section with most deceleration of the circuit, specified by about 280 km per hour 6th gear, and then climb up to the first reaching a minimum speed of the 45 km per hour. You start braking after 20 meters just after turning to the hairpin bend. It is very easy to lock the wheels, so you have to be careful not to overdo it. And now we have another long straight made up of the two curves on the right to do at full speed. We arrive at the most difficult and dangerous curve of the track, the Indianapolis, to face releasing and slightly touching the braking section and then one straight start again to brake for the next curve on the left, climbing onto the second gear. Next comes the Harnage, a 90-degree curve. It is very easy to lock the wheels, but you have to be able to correctly take the apex, not to waste much time. We approach the Porsche curves, a very spectacular snake of curves. The insertion varies from car to car. In this case it climbs in full gear, you anticipate pointing toward the curves and you try to go on the gas as soon as possible and then face the whole series of the following curves, left, then left again, and then you release the gas going to slightly pinch the brake, remaining as close as possible to the white line, then change your direction to the left using the track. We arrive then on the last short straight that takes us on the last section of slope curves that will go to complete the circuit, full chicane. We only use the lane of the pits to have the maximum speed on the session and to be able to cut perfectly without exceeding the limits, to be anticipated later on the second left-right, cutting as much as possible, being a little careful not to climb too much on the second bollard, since the risk to break down to match the car. So here we are at the finish line, ready for 24 hours. Thanks for listening.